Oh, yeah. Frank the Tank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel, Tennessee, Alabama, SEC regular season championship possibly on the line tomorrow night. It does not get much bigger than that if you're an SEC basketball fan. If you're a Tennessee basketball fan, now obviously you're getting an NCAA tournament here in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's bigger. But right now, at this point in the season, if you're Tennessee, you want to win the SEC championship. You want to take care of business over these last three games. You want to get that number one seed. You got to think Purdue, Connecticut, Houston are pretty close to being locks for number one seed. So that fourth number one seed's up for grabs. From when have we seen Tennessee get that one seed? They've been a two seed numerous times, haven't been that one seed. They have that chance this year with it. This game tomorrow night's big. It is a big game. If Tennessee wins tomorrow night, I really feel confident that this game puts them in that prime position that they will win the regular season SEC championship. But we'll see how it goes, man. You can't underestimate. It's going to be a tough game tomorrow night. So let's get right into this thing, the matchup. So the Vols, I'm looking at Ken Palm. I like Ken Palm. I like the stats that they bring on it. So Ken Palm has Tennessee ranked fifth. They have Alabama ranked seventh in the nation. You look at their offense versus their defense. Tennessee ranks, according to Ken Palm, 18th in the nation in adjusted offense. Alabama ranks number one in adjusted offense. Tennessee ranks fourth in adjusted defense. Alabama ranks number 100 in adjusted defense. According to Ken Palm in these rankings, what's the outlier in all this? What's the difference here? And I've said it. I've gone on in all my videos when I did the Auburn post-game wrap. I'm sticking to what I said. I like Tennessee in this matchup. I think Tennessee's a better team. This type of team is a great matchup for Tennessee. Could Tennessee lose tomorrow night? Absolutely. You cannot discount that, as they're 5-4 over the last 9 games with Auburn or with Alabama. Tennessee's won 5 of them. Tennessee won last year in Knoxville. Tennessee won this year in Knoxville as well. They won overwhelmingly this year as well. They that game, going back to it, Tennessee won 91-71. And just kind of looking back at some of those stats in that game, Alabama's main guy is Mark Sears. He had 22 points in the first meeting. Obviously, he did his thing, but, I would say based on that, it was an ineffective 22 points. Dalton Connect went for 25. Jonas Adu in that game went for 19. He only had 4 rebounds. Vescovy had 10. Ziegler had 8 with 6 assists. Jordan James had 1. Jordan Gainey had 15 in that game. That was a big deal. Jemai Mashak had 8. This will be a difference here. Freddie Dillon did his thing. He had 5 points in that game. I don't think you're going to see much of him tomorrow night. Tobey Awaka did basically. The only reason he was even on the stat sheet was he had 3 fouls in that game, and he missed a free throw. He only played 5 minutes in that game. How times have changed now getting to this point in the year. You got to factor that, of course, Adu and Awaka, they're both going to be big differences. Tennessee's pretty much on an 8-man rotation at this point. Now, you may get those times where an Estrella, a Cam Carr, a Dillon get playing time, but it's going to be more due to necessity, due to foul trouble than it is anything. And, it may be due to a blowout, possibly, that you see them in there. And I hope those guys will kind of stick with it, stick with the program, see what's happening with dudes who are developing, see what's happening with the Dalton Connect who's come in. He was advised to come back, get better at his defense, and look what he's doing. He's the SEC Player of the Year. There's no doubt. Bruce Pearl made the comment, well, it depends on who wins the conference. If Tennessee wins it, I'm voting Dalton Connect. If Alabama wins it, I'm voting Sears. It's not even close. It's not even close. I'm not a fan of Bruce Pearl. I don't like Bruce Pearl. As you guys know, if you've listened to me, yeah, would Tennessee basketball be what it is without him? No. He did a lot for it, but I still think he's a scumbag. I don't like him. I never wanted him back after he left. Piss on him. He's gone. I don't want him back. All I want to do is beat him at this point. I'll stop at that with him because I just don't like the guy. And I definitely don't like his son, who's a coat teller. He played at Tennessee, did not deserve to. He's coaching. He's still riding daddy's coattails now with it. But, let's get back on topic here a little bit with it. The matchup tomorrow night, the first time around Tennessee, they actually lost the rebounding battle with Alabama. Alabama out-rebounded them the first game, but the assist difference was major. Tennessee had 21 assists first time. Alabama was under 10. What do we look like for Alabama? Based on their stats. Now, I will look their height. So this is kind of where we go with. You got Grant Nelson, who was 6'11", 230. That's a guy, when Tennessee's in these games they've lost, it's been due to these big guys. These games where they've had troubles been due to that. Janai Broome for Auburn the other night, he had his way with Jonas Adu. Let's make no mistake about it. There's been numerous games Tennessee struggled. It's been due to the difference in big men. I'm not taking anything away from Adu. He's been great. He's been really good this year. Great, maybe strong. He's been really good. He's done his job. He and Awaka have had good years. But there's been those matchups. And that's my big concern when you get in the NCAA tournament. What happens when you get that big guy, that Zach Edey, possibly, a Hunter Dickinson, someone like that? How does Tennessee combat that? Because how do they learn from the first time they played those teams? If you're going to win the national championship, you're going to get to a Final Four, you're going to have that play out of your big guys. They're going to have it again tomorrow night. For those guys, we need those guys to be dominant tomorrow night against Alabama. And looking at Alabama's size, Sears 6'1", Nelson 6'11", Ryland Griffin, one of their top scorers, is 6'6", 190. Davin Cosby, 6'5". Looking at Alabama's statistics as well, they have 5 guys averaging 10 points or more on the season. Mark Sears averages 21.7, Griffin 13.8, Aaron Estrada 12.7, Latrell Wrightsell 11.4, Grant Nelson 10.6. Then you have a drop off after that. Again, talking about it, Alabama has, depending on, according to Ken Palm, the number 1 offense in the nation. The first time around, Tennessee shut that offense down. Look back at that game and those statistics. Talked about what Tennessee did on the first time. Alabama, on the other hand, you had Sears with 22. That was the only guy in double digits. So Estrada 8, Pringle 8, Griffin 7, Nelson 3, Stevenson 7, Walter 6. They let Sears do his thing, and pretty much everyone else got shut down. Alabama in that game was 4 out of 21 from 3-point range. If you look at their season statistics on this, so Alabama ranks, let me pull that up here real quick. They averaged 91.5 points per game. Field goal percentage 48.4, 3-point percentage 38.1, free throws right at 79%, rebounds are averaging 39.4 per game, 16.2 assists per game, 12.1 turnovers per game. You look at this, you look at this, you say, well, this is these guys are going to give teams trouble, and maybe they do tomorrow night. It's in Tuscaloosa. Tennessee's had that knack on these road games for giving up these ungodly 3-point percentages, these offensive numbers, but they found ways to win. If you look at that Kentucky score sheet from when they played Kentucky earlier in the year, that's Tennessee I'm talking about. If you would not even have looked at Tennessee stats, you wouldn't have looked at the score of the game, you would have thought they probably gotten blown out based on Kentucky shot really well from 3-point range. They shot well for the game. Their offensive numbers look good. But Tennessee, I felt Tennessee won that game comfortably. I really did. There were times it got kind of a little uncomfortable, but they took care of business on it as well. My keys tomorrow night, what I'm looking for, I'm going to drop in the morning and I'm going to record and release my keys to the game. We know what's on the line tomorrow night. Second bullet point. The winner of this one has a leg up to win the SEC regular season championship. I'll be honest, I think Tennessee's a better team in this, and I'm not being a homer. Well, I said maybe I am a little bit, but I'll look at these teams that Tennessee's played like this. High scoring offense. Less maybe average or less than average defense. They've had their way with these guys. It's a road game. It's going to be tough. These teams that they played on the road and had trouble with, better defensive teams than Alabama, more physical teams than Alabama. I like Tennessee in this game. I'm expecting Tennessee tomorrow night to win. I really am. I think they're a better team. I just really do. I don't care what Ken Palmer or any of them says. Tennessee is a more physical team. Tennessee has Dalton Connect. Alabama has Mark Sears. I think when it boils down to it, if Connect gets in that zone, you saw what happened the other night. He took the game over. Rick Barnes, I'm pretty sure, and I was not in the huddle. I've not even looked at much of the post-game comments from the other night, but you could kind of tell at a point when Tennessee got down 63-55, he said, give it to Connect, let him take over. That's my thoughts on it. That's what it looked like to me. You're going to need Connect tomorrow night. Zakai Ziegler, a lot of pressure on him with Sears on him tomorrow. We need our fifth-year seniors to be fifth-year seniors tomorrow night. They didn't do a whole lot against Auburn, but you know what? At the end, Vescovy had the big rebound and put back. James had some big blocks. I think you're going to need more than that tomorrow night. These two guys need to play like they've been there before. They're infuriating. Love them, appreciate them. They're infuriating. We need more out of them tomorrow night. We need more like, I don't expect James to go for 26 tomorrow night. That Kentucky game was the outlier on his season. Now, coming into conference play, he was a little over 10 points per game. Solid year. They've gotten into conference play. He's dropped off significantly. Vescovy, I feel like for most of the year has been his role, and he's accepted it, is to be defensive, to do the little things, to kind of be that X factor, so to speak. It's not the previous year's Vescovy and James that we looked at, but we need more out of them tomorrow night. Looking back to first meeting, I've already talked about what I want to see tomorrow night. I want to see Dalton Connect be Dalton Connect tomorrow night. Does he have to score close to 40? No. Does he need to be in that 25 to 30 range? Yes. I want to see Jonas Adu not only be in that 15-point range offensively, we need a double-double out of him tomorrow night. We need Awaka to stay out of foul trouble and do his thing when he's in. We need Vescovy and James to be fifth-year seniors and play like tomorrow night. We need Zakai Ziegler to hold his own with Mark Sears tomorrow night. Am I expecting him to shut him down? No. But I expect Ziegler, he's been a road warrior. I expect him to be a road warrior tomorrow night. My prediction, Tennessee 90, Alabama 83. That's where I'm going tomorrow night. The Vols take another step towards winning that SEC regular season championship, which is huge for them. Huge for that number one seed, which is what they need. They're on the road to the Final Four. I'm starting to buy into Final Four or bust with this team. You know what? You got to set expectations at some point. You can't keep continually being, if they make the Elite Eight, great. Well, Sweet 16, they could have done better. No, at some point, at what we ever go see another Dalton Connect at Tennessee? You could make the assumption, or you could make the case, he's right up there as far as best players in Tennessee basketball history. He's not going to be there historically because he's played one season. How many times do you see a guy like this come along? This is one of those teams with Rick Barnes. If you're going to get it, this is the year. You can't guarantee you're getting another Dalton Connect out of the portal next year, the year after, or so on. This dude's special. He is the man. He is him. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange. Tomorrow night, post game, around 10 o'clock, give or take, whenever that game ends, I'm going live. We're going to talk about this thing. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating this victory. The Tennessee Vols, in my opinion, in my prediction, are going to roll. We're going to be in first place tomorrow night. If not, we'll analyze it and talk about it tomorrow night. Frank Rock, House of Orange, happy Friday. Enjoy your evening. I'll see you again tomorrow. My keys to victory. And as always, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.